Now, I know it's hot and we're getting down to the wire. In just a moment or two, I'm going to be introducing you to the man that we have all been waiting to hear from. But, all right, I want to get one of our visitors up here, and I promise you, you are going to love to hear what this man has to say. Representing We the People, California's Crusaders, please, a big Arizona welcome. I love you got the Arizona flag. Ray Herrera. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. I think I'm going to start out by telling you a little story about me and my father. As a little boy, before I even got to school, I was always begging my father that, you know, I want to live in California. I want to live in America. My father told me that I was born in California, and I was born in America. My father, a World War II veteran, Bronze Star, passed away about 4 years ago. So I have no daddy. My new daddy is Senator Russell Pierce. And I want to live in the United States of Arizona, in the 20 other states that have stood up with Senator Russell Pierce. That's my little story. But here it goes. I have a question for you people. And that question is, who are we?
American! We're American!
What is the American creed? Where did it come from? Where did our national identity come from? Glenn Beck's telling you that it comes from the founding fathers. Raymond Herrera is telling you that the founding settlers, the Anglo-Protestants that landed here in 1620, have given you your American creed. Your American creed are the core values that so identify America. English, individualism, every freedom that you can think of. Everything that you can think of in that Constitution derives from the Anglo-Protestant settlers that landed here. And I am an American just as well as you are. But to be an American, you must know one thing, that we are members of the greatest Anglo-Protestant core culture society that's ever walked the face of the earth. And this is why people try to break into this country. The people of Mexico and China or wherever, they don't have what we have here. They don't have democracy. The Constitution is derived from the Anglo-Protestants that landed here. The father of the Constitution, James Madison and Thomas Jefferson, they're really the ones that put the Constitution together. We can give them founding fathers, but the founding settlers are the Anglo-Protestants that landed here. When they were putting the nation together, Jefferson to Madison, what should the demeanor be of this brand new nation? And the first thing out of Madison's mouth was the Puritan way of life, the Anglo-Protestant way of life. The morals, the common decencies that landed here, the language that landed here, the rule of law that landed here, and by the way, that's Hebrew legislation that landed here. All this is what we share in common from the day that you were born, and that's from the crib to the grave. This is what distinguishes you from any other people, any other nation on the face of the earth. And they all want what you have. They want the liberties. They want democracy. But they can't have it here on American soil. It belongs to the American people. And I, for one, am not willing to surrender my Anglo-Protestant core culture society to anybody, because the color of this man's skin is American. And like I said, to be an American is to be an Anglo-Protestant core culture society member, the greatest society on the face of the earth. And the color of my skin is American. I also want to point out something to the people here. Look at what the Minutemen have done. We have raised the hair on the back of the neck of every American in the United States. We now have Tea Parties, we have 9/12s, we have every kind of coalition out there facing off against the establishment. And all I can say is we've done our job. If you look at La Raza, when they're on television now, they're talking like Minutemen. We've got to seal the border, and then we can have, like Terry Anderson says, an organized, orderly discussion about comprehensive immigration reform. I've seen it. I look at John McCain. Do you think it'll work this time? I've been battling that SO whatever for 5 years. He is my main target. I did a video 5 years ago. It's called Death of an American Dream. And I start out like this. Good morning, Senator John McCain. And it's me on a job site being run off by Mexicans and a white American employer who thought he'd pay me $300 for framing a $5,000 house and let the Mexicans finish it. And, you know, he makes a lot of money. I'm not going to let that happen to my children. I'm not going to let that happen to your kids. We have to understand one thing, that America is founded on the courage of the blood of our fathers, the greatest generation of American warriors that this world has ever seen or ever will witness. And that is World War II. All you have to do is go look at what your dads or your grandfathers or your uncles did. They faced off the enemy when the ocean turned red. It was American blood. It was the blood of our American fathers. When the land turned red, it was the blood of our American fathers. Where was Mexico? Mexico and all their brave, courageous Mexicans were down deep south into Mexico. The men were hiding underneath the skirts of their mothers with their knees knocking, not knowing if it was going to be the Japanese, the Germans, or the Americans that were coming from them. They didn't ever help in the World War, but they now want your American creed. The Mexicans have invoked the American creed on the American people. Family values, civil rights, just like Ted Hayes was saying. Everything that they can throw at you has been thrown. But now that it's been thrown and it has no effect on the American people, they're out in the streets waving American flags, invoking the American creed, decrying, berating the American people because they have a corrupt government and corrupt people. My whole job when I came into this thing was to invoke the American creed on the American people. You can go back 5 years to the Mark Edwards show and you can hear it. It wasn't Glenn Beck that invoked the American creed. It wasn't anybody like Sean Hannity. They're trying to invoke it, but they don't know what they're talking about. They've taken the slot of the Minutemen. The American creed is the moral political platform from where the American people fight from. It is the morals and the common decencies of the Anglo-Protestant that landed here that evolved into our Constitution. It's their way of life that you and I share and will continue to share, because I am not willing to surrender America to anybody. Thank you and God bless.